Hello and welcome to The Middlemen. I am Juro Olajumoke Alaude James, and with me today are jurors Emeka Madunagu, who's shedding some light on the president's strategy and recruitment pitfalls, Evans Ufeli, who's heard Rabbi whispering to him to give some context to the president's fall, and last but not the least, Cyril Abaku, who has some perspective on Nigeria's chosen few. I will be singing "Don't Cry for Me, Nigeria." All of these conversations will happen after this show, but please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Middleman. You're welcome back to The Middleman. My case. Don't cry for Nigeria. You saw the South African presidential elections and its collation center. I wanted to cry for Nigeria because we spent more to get what we got. Don't cry for Nigeria. We chose this. No, let's not argue that this wasn't the people's choice. If we didn't choose this, why are we sitting down taking it? You protest, you will die. You eat billions, you will still die. So if it's the fear of death, won't you still die? Oh, you don't want to die now. Okay then. In Nigeria, that happened to you. When life expectancy is at 47 because of lack of affordable health care. As you get older and need more medical attention, God help you that all the billions you ate in your youth is still available for you. If not, preventive and curable diseases may kill you. When we cry for Nigeria, it's because of our potential swallowed and buried by a few people for their personal gains. I mean, if you don't start for something, you will fall for anything. My verdict. I cried for the president though. That fall looked really painful. Hope he's okay. Last, we will go on medical tourism again and we will pay for it.
Yes, this is one very troublesome yet an exciting case. Troublesome because it has taken us back to the old story of our pain by choice. Okay, that consistent pain that has become more like our testament, unfortunately so. Then exciting because it also is a call for reawakening of where we are as a people. Okay? We have fallen several times. In fact, the president fall is just one of the many falls of the citizens. So we can actually avoid most of these things. Look at what we budgeted for our elections. I have not done research on what South Africa spent on that election.
Way less.
So I cannot vividly compare, critically so. But I know that they spent less than what we spent.
Yes, they did.
First, our population is far more than theirs.
Yes.
Now, the turnout for the election, when you compare it to that of ours, you can see the inconsistencies in our electoral system and the way we go about it. In that election, there were no cases of vote buying, amala politics, stomach infrastructure, and the rest of the decadent issues that they cloud our own system. There are a lot of people in South Africa that are poorer than people in Nigeria.
Very true, sir.
But you know, civic responsibility calls for discipline. It's a call to duty. It's a call to countryhood. A call to patriotism, and that is what we want to see in Nigeria. Unfortunately, so we are not getting that because not only had the leaders compromised their dignity and the future of this country, the followers in like manner have done deeper damage to the society than the leaders have done this to us. So,
very true.
In putting down my thought on your case, I will say that a case like this does not require too much deliberation on the problems, but that the deliberation should be on the solutions. So how can we get out of this? We have offered solutions. People have done research, people have written papers, people have done so much to find out how we're going to get out of this crisis.
No, but if more than half of those of us that are going to vote are illiterate and are in extreme poverty.
Based on what figures?
No, our literacy level.
From where?
No, sir. We have 20 million school children out of school.
Based on what data?
No, so
because you know the issue is this. See, we may have people who are not educated because they have not gone through formal education.
Okay.
But the number of people who are so on
politically enlightened
that they cannot recognize the difference between the logo of PDP and APC
are not that many.
So when we talk about
the second, I was going
context.
Okay, so I was going to also mention weaponized poverty. So it's a it's a different thing to be politically enlightened, even though formally illiterate.
Yes.
But it's another thing for the 5,000 naira or the bread that they're going to give you to be a lifeline.
Yeah. So I totally understand your point of view, but what I just wanted to add was because Barrister has talked about taking the discussion into the solution based whatever it is. Now, if you look at South Africa, let's take it holistically. They have a president, but it is largely parliamentary democracy.
Okay.
So even right now, because the elections are free and fair, the ANC is in trouble, which I consider to be a good trouble.
Yeah.
Because now they have to eat the humble pie to look for who they're going to coalition with.
A democratic trouble.
Yes, you have the MK, which is Jacob Zuma's split away party. You have EFF, Malema's Socialist Marxist Party. You have the DA, which is purely open market capital. They are not umbrella capitalism.
Anybody.
Now, at least the voters of Africa understands what each of these parties stand for. There's clear communication. In Nigeria, I hope we know that PDP and APC, if you put the candidates on the same ballot on the table,
they are the same.
They are all the same.
Nigeria have one political system.
Yes. Exactly. So
during the election,
no ideologies.
They divide into three.
After
election, they become one.
And at the very worst, what happens is that the best rigger or the person with the stronger personality call simply wins the election.
Yes.
So maybe as part of the solution, if we moved from parties that are just there because they have the money to be there, to parties that are there because of what they believe in. I remember that, I was told in the Second Republic during the elections that the song they sang in my hometown was, "What are we going to vote for? We're going to vote for corn and house." That was the campaign song. The party came to say housing.
So this is about
agriculture. No. Children agriculture now. So I want to say is it for from the AV to the UPN would say social welfare, education and health. It is not for nothing. You have these farming estates, dairies, and so they are expressions of ideas that people conceived over time. So maybe if we adopted parties that spoke to ideological,
all of them say all of these things. We will do housing, we'll build it, we'll do that. They all say, but after they get into office, they don't do it.
So ideology simply means the how of it. When you agglomerate ideas of how to get to destination that is different from what another person is agglomerating, you become an ideological base. So how are we going to get there? That's the question that the Muslim answered. The president tripped and fell yesterday at Ego Square. Our sympathy goes to him. But let me quickly speak on that. Like I said in the morning, I owe the president my prayers and everything because he's a leader.
We will get to that.
The problem with the president's fall is that I respect him as president.
We will get to the president's fall. Hold on now. Did you see Collation Center? in South Africa.
The way
we count our own votes here.
The way the South African organized theirs. The way the South African organized theirs.
And things were just rolling like that.
And they announced the result at the daytime.
Immediately, not at 4 a.m.
That was intentional disenfranchisement. Of voters. It's intentional. It's not as if Mahmoud Yakub.
If you go to tribe wasn't an issue in South Africa.
Sir, you know that voters, sir. It is the system
itself
or versus the people.
No, if you go to INEC's website,
put together.
INEC, one of their stories, INEC admits that its activities his election activities have not met the required standard. It's there.
They don't even need to tell us that.
Wow.
We saw what they did now.
Yes.
We saw how they became, even in the courtroom. They became
a political party.
And they became almost like trying to defend what it has done to whoever and giving out the wrong documents that they ought to do with dignity of their office. We're giving the litigants who apply for documents and you give them plain sheets and blood sheet and all that. So INEC is in the criminal enterprise of the decline of our political system. And the day that INEC is punished, that is the day that we will start to move forward politically in Nigeria.
Is this a solution
as
to
long
INEC chairman?
No, as long as INEC is not punished in this criminal.
Should we be jailing INEC chairman?
Already some INEC officials prosecuted and jailed.
Part of the
for what they did in 20.
part of the solution on INEC's part is this: as man civilizes, right? In a lot of ways, his will, his whims, his caprices should be kept out of as many things as possible. What do I mean? You saw inside of that rising technology, right? How can we adopt innovation?
And the reason our own INEC chairman asked for, was it 30 billion or 300 billion? Was because he promised us technology that we will use portal, that we will see the result of that day, we will see virtually.
But Nigerians were not vigilant. You know why? Nigerians were not vigilant because we ought to have we don't need to trust in politics. We ought to have called for a legislation of that thought, so that they will not pull out from it. Because what they did now was, it was in their regulation that they reduced that to.
Yes.
The letter act itself didn't say they must transmit.
That was the argument that they used. Yes.
So they knocked us off from there. So the vigilance I'm talking about is that whatever INEC promises, they must reduce it into a bill, pass it through the House.
Yes.
So that you now use that against INEC and whoever is going to flout whatsoever.
Okay.
So that after election, you can use that to prosecute, because it will be an offense for non-compliance and the punishment will prescribe therein. That's the way you can telegard that. If you allow INEC to come up with all their regulations, they pull out from it when it's not convenient for them. And that's exactly what they did and established this. Look at the outcome now. The outcome is almost like even consuming INEC itself, because immediately after they finished cooking that nonsense they cooked, they started burning their offices in the east, in everywhere.
Funny.
Even before the election.
Yeah.
Okay, so they started having problems all over the place. But because the kind of electoral system you have will determine the kind of government you eventually have.
Very true. When we return, Jura Emeka Madinagu will tell us why the president needs to recruit and strategize better. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Middleman.
You're welcome back. We're still on Middleman. My case, Tinubu's urgent S and R needs. President Bola Tinubu's administration is in serious deficit of two big issues: strategy and recruitment. It's such a sad spectacle that Tinubu's administration has not been able to map out a clear strategy in any sector. This is clearly a failure of the recruitment which brought people into his government. So 1 year after, Nigeria wobbles pathetically without a clear direction. My verdict: Tinubu needs to urgently purge his administration of many of those recruited for political patronage. Many in his administration don't have a clear idea of the current challenges facing the nation. He must roll out a clear strategy, or else the administration will continue to wobble and fumble as things fall apart.
As he is even falling by himself.
You see this is a master script for management science. You see, recruitment, from my little experience, whether politics, whether governance, whether the day you are ready to ruin yourself, go and recruit anyhow you like. Yes. The day you want to ruin yourself, just call people up, just recruit them on settlement and put them to do a job. That's the day you finish. This administration, when you look deeply, apart from the mistake that Tinubu made, Tinubu to me appeared to be a better entity than Buhari.
Head and shoulders above him.
Yes. Supposed to be a better entity than Buhari. But he made himself, from his mistakes, to his mistake in recruitment, to his mistakes in policy,
to his stumbling up and down. What made him look like he never had competence at all because of lack of strategy, lack of recruitment. You know, John Maxwell said everything rises and falls on leadership. So what it means therefore is that a leader must not just show up as a leader. A leader must show up with a capacity to get like minds and to sell the bigger vision to them and have them duplicate the same vision and drive leadership. That is what a leader should do. But most times, it is always difficult for so many leaders to get themselves and their vision duplicated in their lieutenants or people that will work with them and get their required result. That is why I said this case is very important, not just for the middleman, but for you who is in management, who is in business, who is in recruitment. Everything rises and falls on recruitment. When you recruit people that have no vision, they have no understanding of a target, objective, they don't know they should be punctual, they don't know they should be driven, they don't know they should be focused, they are self-serving, you cannot move an inch. You will always get it wrong. And that's what is wrong with this administration. You look at Bayo Nonuga, you look at even the ministers. He just said they want to reshuffle and send some home.
Yes, now, because they are not doing anything now.
They are doing that. Most of them are not.
You know why they are not doing anything? Because when they campaigned for you see, Tinubu was touted to be a Super Lagos boy when he was governor, that he had the competence, the wherewithal to recruit from all over the world, regardless of religion or ethnicity or anything. He just sought experts all over the world to do the work. So forget that you're an Igbo man or you become commissioner of budget and planning and all of that. But one, he's old now and he has brought all those old soldiers, a lot of them tired, who ought to be retired. Secondly, when you just bring all of those people to campaign for you because they are your godsons and prodigies, and then you start to hire experts and all of those ones are frowning that, but now we work for you now. That guy, Napita, will be in work for. Why are you hiring him? It's no longer about competence, it's about now compensating all the people who brought you into governance. Thirdly, you now have senior advisors to special advisors who have no expertise in the agency or ministry they've been put in because of my number two, which is compensating them just because they work for you. So when you put round pegs in square holes and you expect them to perform magic or bring a magic wand that starts to galvanize the economy, then you are the one fooling yourself.
These people, well, to play devil's advocate, I think these people are incompetent because the leader does not have a clear strategy. They are distributing palliatives, which is a welfareist interventionist strategy. The next day, you are increasing taxes. You are setting up new levies. Where exactly to erode the palliatives you have? Because somebody comes, like
now what receive?
Like I said, there's a typical thing, in a war situation. Typically in the United States, they ask Mr. President, what's the strategy? What?
Or what's the end goal?
No, not before you get to the end goal. And as the president, they will ask, you ought to know, what's the strategy? So that when there's no strategy, everybody is talking about, like Wiki, and doing roads. Wiki is not looking at Abuja as an international
city,
capital, an international destination that should offer certain things beyond
pecs,
naming roads after one person or the other. But the fact that Abuja should be an iconic city.
You are telling us
so I beg to differ a little. Hold on, I beg to differ a little. I think that what the primary ingredient the leader must put on the table is vision. Right? The people he has so hired are the ones that can now tell him from an economic point of view, whatever point of view, yes, and say this is the right strategy to use to achieve it. That's why they're called advisors.
Yeah.
Since the president, this may be your vision, but don't even begin from here. You see, that's why I said, what is the president's end goal?
What is vision?
What is his vision? That is where the thing really begins. Because
you just wanted to become president now. What do we do it? Me, I did it. That's all. That was his strategy and vision.
I'm glad he picked a very what looked like a minor thing to say there's where you put it about strategy, right? But the point is this: when vision is on the table, a good leader, no matter what the experts come and say, there are some things he won't compromise on.
Yes.
He will say, go and walk around it.
Yes.
The owner of Apple, I understand, was never a technologist, but he just told them, you know what, our selling point to be touch, your ability to touch this kind of networks.
You know what it is?
However,
He's a calligrapher.
What is Facebook?
However,
If you remember, Facebook was a scrapbook we were doing way back in secondary school.
yeah, of course now.
We had scrapbooks in secondary school.
Yes.
That each person had a page
Yes.
with your passport photo.
Yes.
And you
You
write.
wrote
Yeah.
and we passed that scrapbook around
Yeah.
on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You wrote something.
Mhm.
You wrote something.
Mhm.
And then
Somebody
this
took
was a
that,
global practice among college students. And somebody just took it
And put it
and
online.
put it online. And it has become
And it became a thing.
multi-billion
So
dollar.
every leader will come and say, I'm calling you because I know you can get the job done, so come around. Look for a way to achieve this goal. Lincoln did it. He will craft the bill, go to parliament, they reject, you come back.
Yes. I want to expand on this thing you said now. That the leader's business or duty is to put the vision on the table. Okay, and let the people he has elected or chosen to drive it, let them
Be the ones to BS.
drive it in a way that, and you also said something that a good leader also know when you are advising him to go this way, also know how to say no, this is the way.
Go around
Just
it.
like the disciples came to meet Jesus. These people have been with us for 3 days.
We should
Send
send them
away.
home.
Let them go and look for food. Jesus said no.
No, you feed them.
As a leader, he knows when
Exactly.
not to put the people in trouble. He said,
Exactly.
you provide for them. They didn't have anything. There was a little boy that had something, so to bring it. He took it
And multiplied it.
Blessed. Do you understand? Meaning he took the vision, away from the advisors.
And multiplied it.
Shape
Yes.
it. Look for somebody that has something of a touch.
Yes.
He took that creatively, made it, and they were left over. That is
Yes.
what a leader should be.
Yes.
A leader must have focus. A leader must know when to bat the dream, when to reclaim it, and when to rebut it.
Exactly.
So
And to
Nigeria is
ensure
in
that,
trouble.
yes, so if we don't have that kind of leaders,
Ew.
if we don't have those kind of people, we're not going to fix our problem, because our problem is far worse than even some of the biblical examples.
Yes.
You understand? So we need to build Nigeria.
You see, for me, the beginning point should even have been that this, I mean, Pastor was very correct. The way some of us thought of Tinubu, right? He should have begun by answering at least 2 things. One, what is Nigeria's national dream? It's not too much for us to fix it.
Ew.
No, but it's true now. You saw those things they used to write in those days. Those people say,
What's your Nigerian dream?
But you know, I think we started failing from the person we chose as vice president. Because you cannot have a successful government when you have 2 politicians in power. Donald Trump, why it looked like, Donald Trump had enough time to be dancing around and doing all of that was because Mike Pence was, a kind of, was a technocrat who helped him to navigate, the regular running
of government.
So, if he had chosen a technocrat, an experienced technocrat who could have helped him
Fix a few things.
ensuring that government keeps running while you don't even need a genius as president. But the
You
person
don't.
who is the vice president must be a handsome
Nigeria's
person.
vice presidents
Somebody is
are
handsome.
always figureheads.
That is the nature of the laws in Nigeria, or that is how we have made it to seem like the vice president should just, apart from
You say the vice president should do economy.
apart from Obasanjo's era when Atiku really held the economy, managed the economy. We've not seen that combo any longer.
No.
Now we just have a ceremonial vice president that goes, when the president is not around, he goes to represent the president illegally. Yeah, because most times the president does not transmit letters. So all those actions that the vice president and actions he takes when letters are not transmitted, those actions are illegal.
But
Except when
sorry,
he has a faulty tire.
you guys are talking about the mistakes that Tinubu made. When APC had an Osinbajo vice president that they cannot say they did not know, and they chose a Tinubu.
A vote of no confidence in Osinbajo's style. So when we return, the juror from Rabbi will take us to Eagle Square where the president had a brief for. Don't go anywhere.
Middleman.
My case, the president's fall. When someone stumbles and fall, do not laugh. People don't fall because they want to fall. People fall because they are humans. Humans fall. Everyone and everything falls. If not today, someday, you will fall when the time comes. People fall. Now let me take this further and explore the metaphorical significance of slavery. Just like the president, Nigeria's democracy fell a long time ago. Our democracy has not risen since this fall. Our democracy is still in that desolate place and has borne nothing but horror to her forbearers and sin to her survivors. Our democracy has laid flat on the ground of history and time since its comeback in 1999, trapped in the visionless claw of those who rule us. The Obasanjo and governors at the time had a golden opportunity to put us back on track after the military left it off, but they frittered it with carelessness. We lost that opportunity. Yar'Adua mustered the courage to take us through a long walk to freedom, but this was short-lived by his demise. Our dream again was fated. Jonathan stepped into the arena with half the dream that Yar'Adua bore before his demise, but lacking in vision of that dream. Hence, he was thrown out by an opposition party conceived barely a few months before it went to the polls. Buhari and his APC academic theorists and propagandists came in like they knew the way out of the now consecrated, failure-driven Nigeria with a sacrament in sanctimonious preachment, blaming the administration before for almost or close to 8 years, not knowing what to do. The rule of law was dashed. The economy died. Nigeria died alongside it. And the same administration went to bed seeing the fire on its roof. The Tinubu administration came with a shovel on the day of its inauguration to bury Nigeria. The lifeless Nigeria was bruised after its demise by this administration. The administration didn't deem it fit to take the carcass to a place of honor, so the citizens groaned. My verdict. Dear jurors, today, by our collective faith, let us call Nigeria back to life. I take this soil, this Nigerian soil, and I consecrate it with the spirit of the God of creation. And I call this country by its name, Nigeria, to come back to life now in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Come out! This is my judgment. I shall go to Rabbi again.
Well, I saw Joel Cyril adjust it. And I was wondering if, you know,
because the fire. But you will have got spiritual on this same ball.
Well, the point is, you see, whatever you can cling to maintain your sanity in Nigeria, you know, it's really worth thinking about. You see, you find a lot of people, yes, we know people need money for food, for rent, for school fees. But what I find more is that a lot of people need somebody just to talk sense into them. So I'm being frank with you.
I agree.
Beyond just food, sometimes when I'm in discussion with people, I just find out that they're listening eagerly because I sort of find a way, to navigate them away from the problems of Nigeria. We just be talking about possibilities, and I see them enjoying it. And now, this is not about the basic necessities. So I think Nigeria, really, the leaders don't even know what Nigeria is, who Nigeria is, and why Nigeria exists. So there's a cacophony here and there. Even their followers don't even know what is happening. Ask them today, okay, please tell me, like a little child in nursery school, explain Tinubu's vision to me.
He doesn't have one.
Where is Nigeria going?
I do not know.
Where is Nigeria even now?
I don't know. Why does Nigeria exist? I do not know. Aside from the colonialists that put us together.
Now, in a line, because the Nigeria they coupled together meant something to them.
Yes, a business entity.
Yes.
What does it mean to us?
And just to give it context, the reason they opened the city like Port Harcourt up was because of the coal in Enugu that they needed to export to. So they had the rail networks and everything. It wasn't for internal development. It was for their own economic interest.
It was imperialism.
It was pure imperialism. Now, Nigeria as a country, what have we done to redefine the space to find ourselves in and to make sense of it? Somebody said very brilliantly one time that this is just a geographical expression.
Yeah.
That we are not exactly the sort of ethnic entity that Germany is. Germany in the late 19th centuries was still a collection of independent and autonomous areas. But the only that they were ethnically German, but we are not a country called Germany. The likes of Otto von Bismarck and co came to, sell a pan-German vision to people, and today there's, from Prussia and so on. Now you have Germany. Nigeria's own case, let me explain this. It will amaze you, right, how much we've worked back on building a nation. The president fell yesterday. I am not aware if I've even seen any headline or if there's even any conversation around the distance from where he was to where he fell, and the distance between those who are supposed to be guarding him, because that would have been a bullet coming straight to his forehead.
With a cartoonist description, you couldn't find.
How did the bodyguard of President Reagan take the bullet for him?
In 1982.
How did they take the bullet for him? Now, and nobody's talking about these things. This is the reason.
Security implication.
This is the reason every country as a democracy must be very open and accountable. This is must know.
What ails thee, our president?
The only thing we won't know are classified information, and we won't even know that anything like that really exists. But whatever has happened in our eyes, not an explanation.
True.
But our country is the type that we've become so institutionally weakened and through and so now
nobody's even asking questions.
It happened.
That's it.
It happened, and that's the end of it. It shouldn't be. We must have these conversations going on.
The just joked around it, saying that he was the ballet.
No. See that he said earlier today, I had a swagger, and they were confused whether it was Buga or Babariga. End quote. Let's see.
That's what he said.
Yes.
He said
he was talking about it.
As a Nigerian citizen, okay, I'm not a member of the PDP. I'm not in the Benin movement, and I'm not in the APC.
Yeah.
I'm a neutral Nigerian who, like I said, whether I agree with the president or not is immaterial.
Yeah.
I owe him my prayers. I owe him my respect.
And he owes you accountability.
Why should the president be telling me that we are confused? I'm sympathizing with you that you fail. And you're telling me that I was confused.
Who's really confused in this whole thing? If you want to put it.
What do you mean?
Now that the president has gone there, let the president know who's confused right now.
Come on.
Because it appears that we actually understand what it takes not to have your true age declared to the public. Who you lead. We understand what that is.
73 83.
We also know that nature is a very powerful force. Very powerful. Unforgiving. Nature, if you will not be accountable to people, you get away with it. But nature will hold you accountable to itself.
Yes.
So when it starts to deal with you, it is not the people that are confused. When nature is holding you to ransom, to account, it is not the people that are confused. it is the speaker, the one who said so, is not as confused. Because
Now, yes.
we all watched that. We were.
It was painful to see.
I mean, we were empathized with him.
It was
So
painful.
all he could have
To
done,
see.
all he could have done was to measure his losses accordingly, and possibly they give another explanation to it at their convenience. We're not saying now. Then we look at the security implication. Someone could have taken the president out.
That
Means-
easily.
Yes, easily means that there's no security around everybody. So we should come to a point where we take things very serious.
When the president is climbing
I noticed something. When he was saying all those bugad about it, the people weren't amused. They had to keep. They had to
Forcing themselves.
forcing and forcing. They don't later just some people.
if the president,
As service, though.
You see that the people look
if the
It was a
all
painful
the things that led to my mother's eventual death was a fall she had,
fall.
and a piece of iron pierced her side. It took such a long. Look at a lot of people, elderly people who have died along the line.
Just by falling.
Just look at it, they fall. And
Just
just like Barrister said, you know the classified details of your principal's health. Forget about what you people are hiding
Yes.
from the public.
yes,
But at least go the extra mile.
Yes.
Don't tell me there's no convention that says nobody should
Go ahead of
go
it.
ahead of it. There's no, you are trying to safeguard the president.
They
When
are
I walk with my elder here, I go ahead of them.
they are too defensive, and that may be their undoing.
That way.
Now look at this. Earlier I was talking about who was guarding the president. If the president is climbing, let's say, a stair of like 10 steps, what is the distance between him and the person behind him? All of those things are things that are written in security code books. If you're going to guard the president, because there's body armor, whatever will happen to him should happen to you first.
Wait, he didn't change his guards.
The
Because
second-
during campaign, there was a picture of him where somebody was holding tightly onto his agbada from the back to prevent him from falling.
So whatever. But you see, now look at yesterday, democracy days. Number one was that the president slipped. Number two was that they unveiled a Guinness World Record chasing portrait of
Not
the
even
president.
distract us with that.
Let's even-
On June 12th, that we should have been unveiling a portrait of Abiola.
The rule of security is that all the DSS men around him, the rule of security is that if there's going to be an attack, they are supposed to jump on him, all of them.
Yes.
And when they jump, the last person will be the one that they will shoot or kill 3 persons. But the president wants their life.
Must be alive.
And to say that the president will fall when he's with the security aid will go in for it. Don't
It's most
forget about that. They will court-martial them, those ones that are in. So it's a serious.
I hope they do.
It's a serious thing. So
I won't be but Barrister, I won't be surprised if it didn't happen.
no, internally it will happen.
You know,
Within the DSS, internally, no,
it's
it will happen.
Nigeria.
If it happen internally, then must
It's
sanction
Nigeria.
them.
You see why I say this. A system that thrives on merit, right, can apportion punishment where necessary. But if you assign people based on
You are compensating them.
VIP
Will you fire somebody and compensating?
VIP protection requires that the president should not go down on no account. That's the country that fell there.
of course it's true now.
So on no account, I'm not telling you that VIP protection is very critical.
If indeed.
So imagine if there was a barrage of bullets on the president, like what happened to Anwar Sadat in 1981.
It was in the parade too now.
It was a parade.
The man just turned and
What about what happened to Benazir Bhutto in
Pakistan. Benin Zabuto.
There was security around her in the convoy.
But they
forgot that they had to protect the back. Somebody jumped on the back with bombs on the body and blew up.
Benin Zabuto.
So what are we talking about? It looks like the president fell. The point is that from any angle, it shows the president was vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Like Nigeria.
That also will mean that,
And like the Nile,
we must stretch it apart from the naira to the airspace, our airspace. It means that some persons can come into our airspace and finish everything. We even a drone.
One of the outriders at the parade yesterday, I don't know whether fuel are finished.
Fuel finished. I said Nigeria is a joke. Dumpty had a break for
some years ago.
Fuel finished.
Some years ago, if you remember, they were doing training on how to do acrobat display in the air. Doing underground, the plane crashed.
Yes, now.
The plane that
what kind of?
They said no, it was jet fuel finished.
The jet fuel finished, the engine was off.
I was talking about institutional inertia. We're in a very bad place.
Well, when we return, Jurosiri are back. Will be telling us about Nigerians' chosen few. Stay with us.
Middleman.
You're welcome back to the Middleman of Jurors. My case, the chosen few. The Nigerian economy is not failing. If you think it is, you may have to think again. It's just that more and more people are losing out. Fewer and fewer people may be benefiting, but the economy isn't even being mismanaged. Let me state it clearly. You know the famous biblical quote, St. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 22, verse 14. Many are called, but few are chosen. The chosen few ain't complaining at all. They didn't join the hunger protests of Democracy Day in Lagos. Nah. They are not even agitating for any minimum wage. They are not. Of all things, wage. Let me tell you this quickly. The wages of being chosen are very, very different. Did you not hear what happened this week? Diageo left Guinness this week. Toleran took over. Now, who is who in this drama? You see, the government is very high on the hope that things will get better. They have not said how, but I think they know too well. My verdict. I'm sure those who have eyes to see and ears to hear can see and hear these things. This night will not be long, but when the morning comes, I hope you're ready, because the morning is the time when, in the words of Leonardo da Vinci, every wrong is made right.
Nigeria, please choose me now. Choose me, so that I will not be careful of wages. I will not be interested in all your protests here and there. In fact, I'll be wondering why you people are disturbing us and shutting down.
Middlemen.
I will still come.
Is it to praise?
Upper men.
I will still come. I will just be wondering why people are shouting about minimum wage and shutting down the national grid. Because I mean, the only thing I need the disco for is to put on AC at night. Nigeria, please do not happen to me. Choose me.
It is only countries where you have inequalities and injustice that people pray to be chosen.
Yes.
In a country where you maintain merits and you get everything by virtue of your capacity and competence, you do not need to be chosen.
Wisdom.
An example is when Jesus Christ chose his disciples, he chose them and he told them to carry their cross and follow him. That is to say that I am choosing you not because you are going to get an allowance to have yourself enriched.
I've chosen you to serve.
Have yourself, I am going to make you fishers of men. Okay? Now, fishers of men will mean you are going to be walking. It's about work. And at some point, I will separate some of you to go and do that what I want you to do. So, they get onto the field, they did the job, they had to fend for themselves throughout the process. Okay? Even when one or two of them want to be protective of him as a master, he called them demon. Don't protect me. We are here to do the job. This is a clean slate for everybody. If we have a country where everybody will get that who they work for, but so many people are getting things they do not work for. Governors are emperors in their region. Many governors don't live in their states. They do
It's
not allow.
safe to be traveling back and
They do
forth.
not allow for local government election. Those who are in the National Assembly are chosen. They don't join protests. They don't need protests. The society is unjust. There's inequalities. There's economic injustice. There are all kinds of injustice. Okay? So in that kind of society, you are going to find a huge number of those who are disgruntled and a square number of those who are benefiting from the system, whom the system are favored by virtue of the fact that they are chosen.
Compensation.
Okay? So at the end of the day, in the long run, majority are strained. Majority are deprived. In that equation, what you have is kidnapping, insurgency, religious whatever, all banditry. You must have it because those are the variables of protests that people cling to by virtue of their understanding of economic inequalities and injustice. Some will become bandits, some will become thieves, some will become anything they like, and they'll begin to sabotage the country unrestrained. That is why people are mining gold today in the north. The federal government
and in Elisha.
You understand? Yes, in Elisha, in Ibadan too, they are mining soil minerals. They are doing all sorts. Nigeria now is just pick a fight.
A criminal scene.
Yes, just go somewhere, start to sabotage the country from there. You will become wealthy. That's what we are doing now.
I just have a question. Off of all the conversations we have had today, I realized that the scriptures, right, like a guide, teach us, how to serve, how to work, how to love. But religion in Nigeria, the same people reading these scriptures will go and sit and be praying that a windfall will change their lives and that healthcare will fall upon them by magic.
So
how did we get it wrong?
But there's something I find that's so puzzling in this whole thing. It appears the Western companies, whether it's Tinubu'S, whether it's Guinness, whether it's GlaxoSmithKline, whether it's Microsoft and all of that.
ShopRite.
Yeah, ShopRite. Well, ShopRite has a Western, ideology, even though it's from South Africa. But what I see is that as the Western companies are shifting away, they are not dissolving their companies outrightly. Because I'll tell you that Microsoft has left. Don't be surprised that Huawei will just upscale his Nigeria office and take the place of Microsoft. Just like what Toleram has done. Now, somebody posted something on Facebook this morning and was saying that people are wrong to say that Guinness has left. That is actually Diageo that, sold some which I said good and fine. Very good. But you're overlooking the fact that Toleram is going to come with its own management structure. Toleram might decide to do away with Guinness entirely and bring in a new line of drinks.
Yeah.
Because it's not bound by the name Guinness. It actually bought a company. And I understand that the brand Guinness has just been lent to it. It's like, a loan. That okay, Toleram decides after some years that
I don't want that name.
We don't want Guinness. Of course, they will do away with it. So that we can say theoretically that Guinness has gone.
Yes.
So if you look at it now, Dangote is suddenly interested in
a lot of things. Almost everything, yes.
At the same time, you're suddenly getting in a country that the economy is depressed. You're suddenly having people who could, someone could buy a ShopRite.
Yeah.
You're suddenly having people, who funding for Lagos, Calabar, Coastal Road.
For all kinds of.
From nowhere. You're suddenly having a Toleram building Lekki Deep Sea Port in the same country. You're suddenly having a Toleram taking over Guinness. Suddenly, after GlaxoSmithKline left Nigeria, NAFDAC licensed a number of pharmaceutical companies. So,
the chosen few.
You now wonder, who is doing the drama? What's actually going on? Are we liberalizing the economy? Yeah, for Asians to
you are reading statements. Or the real characters have real names in real life.
Or we have a kind of setup whereby, like Barrister said, just Just pick your own fight.
Area.
So if it is pharmaceuticals,
Just stay there.
get the license,
Stay there.
and then find out where you
Who is your competition?
When you also talked about wages, and he compared it to those who are chosen, and he said wages. Wages. What is wages?
It's salary.
What is wages if I'm chosen?
It's salary.
Wages is
It's earned.
it's child's play.
It's
So
earned.
what I'm saying is, no,
It's like
if I am
children.
chosen, wages is starting point. It's entry level because you are even as a counselor, you get the money you will make if you are chosen, truly chosen. The kind of money you will see in a month. You know, a professor of whatever kind of discipline
Cannot see it in
cannot see it in a year. You understand?
It is a
In a lifetime.
So it tells you that once you have that dynamics, that formula is a dangerous formula. If we're not going to stick to merit, it means that we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
It's
So
terrible.
the point is just that, you see, the reason why our economy is in shambles is that there is no vision. There is no clear. What happens is that Tinubu's government just operates by the day, like thrift collectors. They just wake up.
And when there's no vision,
Yeah, but that's why I also argued that this economy may not be as mismanaged as many of us.
No, but the point is that the economy is not mismanaged.
No, that shows
For the
you
reason
it's
that it's
not
not benefiting
Everybody.
majority.
True.
So it's mismanaged.
Yeah.
Very true.
an economy that is not stretched forth for everyone.
It's mismanaged.
It's being manipulated.
It's been
That's
managed.
not mismanagement.
Yes, because I mean, but my argument was, if it is being mismanaged, maybe somebody made a mistake, didn't need to make the mistake. But in this case, everything happening is following.
It's deliberate.
It's following a script.
And then again, if you look at it, even the SMEs that should be
Oh.
the base, that should actually be the economy base,
We
are
cannot
now
afford
being
this.
killed with
The last I can tell you that the
We cannot afford this.
baba shop I normally use. The guy, when I went the last time, he had taken one of the mirrors. I said, what thing happened? So you like, I said, they buy fuel every day for you. He is moving shop to a place where he would have steady power. So these problems are real. People
Can I tell you
people
what-
are begging. Yes.
Can I tell you what? My wife has become a family barber. She cuts my hair, she cuts my son. Because we bought a rechargeable clipper.
It's called family economics.
6,000 naira. And my wife said, I will not, just henceforth, you can't justify going to spend, 1,000 naira,
Or more.
to cut your hair.
So no, this hair I'm carrying now, I barbed it in America. On that seat where I was sitting in Georgia when they were barbing me, I was thinking, I said, if I have my way now, we'll start 4 people here. I bought my hair for 40 pounds. That's about 50-something thousand naira. No, $40 rather. $40. That is the least you pay.
That's 60,000 naira.
That's about 60,000.
That's a lot.
As one sitting. And I was like, couldn't I have bought clipper or just
I did that when I
And
went to America.
do DIY.
I did that when I went to America. I bought a clipper, $19, just hid it in my phone.
and finish it and save yourself.
I couldn't imagine going to
$40.
spend much more than that on a haircut.
So it
I
tells
had
you
a
that
friend who was in Missouri for about 3 months. He didn't touch his hair or his beard one day.
I was like that.
As he
I was
went.
like that in London for 1 month.
That's how he
I
came.
did not touch anything. Every time I came out, people knew that something was wrong, and they were right. Something was wrong. I'm not going to spend that money.
Well,
And so all of these things are not actually revolving around local industrialization. If you look at a lot of these things, ShopRite, Diageo, healthcare, and all of those things. Okay, Dangote says he's setting up a truck manufacturing plant that will be assembling 10,000 trucks.
It's gradually moving out of households now.
So
It's no longer saying salt and sugar.
no. So you see that all of these things,
another.
nothing is talking about developing the Nigerian product.
yeah.
It's all about just bring anything from anywhere. Like
Do
Rabbi said, bring anything from anywhere.
turnover.
Just get it.
And hold your industry. Hold it strong.
Hold it strong. And start your own fight. Because you know what? That license you have. There was one thing I was told when I wanted to start producing sachet water. Also, just get the license. Within every license in Nigeria, there are a lot of things unstated that you can do.
It's just another number in it.
That's all. There are a lot of unstated things you can do when you get a license. That's why you see a lot of people get licenses here and there. Some people are just registering all kinds of things
And keep it.
and they keep it. So one day, one minister will just announce that the Nigerian government maybe has decided to, start giving grants to people who sell.
They go and take.
And then they just go there and present the license to collect briefcase investors.
No to
And they just collect money
no data to check.
and disappear.
No.
Then the next thing they will tell you, that the stock market is rising. Rising to where? Companies are shortage and the stock market is going up.
That's voodoo economics. Well, Julius, I have to thank you for making out the time today, for the sacrifice of being here, sharing your intellect, sharing your time, and sharing everything you have with us on this episode of The Middleman. It's as far as we can go today. We'd like to thank you for being our guest as well. Well, to be chosen or not to be chosen, I think in the end, what we all need is a society where freedom, justice, equity, and fair play reign supreme. May God save Nigeria. That's our show for today. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Middleman.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of